Right, we're live. We're live. We are live, and I'm gonna address this whole thing with Boost Infinite. And I'm gonna give time for people to come in, um, and we'll have a discussion about this, and we'll talk about it. I just got off the horn with Boost Infinite on Twitter, and I'm not too happy with how a lot of the stuff turns out, and it really feels like that little by little, Boost is like destroying whatever good reputation that they have with decisions that they're making and what they're doing entirely. So I'm going to address that in this live stream. As I know, there's a lot of frustrated people. There's a lot of frustrated people, and there's a lot of people that's like, genuinely asking questions. They want to know where this promise was that people were going to get a free month. They want to know um, the like the whole intricacies of everything. They want to know, and I'm going to address what I know, basically. I mean, you got guys like Sneed Mobile Tech that dropped a video piece letting everybody know what he was able to find out, and people gotta understand, those that question his videos, Sneed does what you can say is homework. He does homework before he takes to YouTube with a video or to a live stream. You know, um, he methodically plots out what he's going to say in his videos, bullet points, to make sure that certain points that he really wants to convey are said on his videos. So it's not like he heard something and just quickly rushed to make that video. So I kind of want to emphasize on that. What's up, Barry? What's going on? All right. Well, we got 5 people in here, so let's kick it off right now. And anyone else that comes in later on down the live stream can watch the replay. So right now, I just got done pretty much just chatting it up with Boost Infinite on Twitter, because you can't contact Boost Infinite through the app on chat. As a matter of fact, what was it? So I have Boost Infinite in my Pixel 5 right now, and I'm going to call their customer care so you guys can hear it over the phone. Well, on the live stream, over the phone. And let me kick on speakerphone.
We appreciate your patience as we work to restore our customer care systems as soon as possible. Our teams are working hard to restore systems as soon as possible and are making steady progress. Thank you for your patience. Agradecemos su paciencia mientras trabajamos para restablecer nuestros sistemas de servicio al cliente lo más pronto posible. Nuestros equipos están trabajando arduamente para restablecer nuestros sistemas lo más pronto posible y están haciendo avances. Gracias por su paciencia.
So you can't get through. You cannot get through if you dial 611 and call customer care for Boost Infinite. There's no one you're going to be able to talk to. Okay, nobody you're going to be able to talk to. And that message, hang on. If you go to chat, it says, we are experiencing an internal system issue that is impacting our website and customer service. Your mobile services should not be interrupted during this time. Our teams are working hard to restore systems as soon as possible. Thank you. So there's a reason why that, I'm reading their chat message and I'm reading that, right? There's a lot of people are reading this when they go to Boost Infinite's chat to try and talk to a rep. They're like, okay, and it says your mobile services should not be interrupted during this time. And that's such a vague statement. I'm going to explain why. To most people, they're thinking that, okay, you know what, their services won't get turned off for non-payment because you're not able to make a payment. I mean, I made a payment through the app, and obviously there's a problem with that because it doesn't show on the app that I made a payment. It doesn't show my most recent payment of February 28th is when I made the payment. It shows the last payment for me was on January 25th. So, it's saying that basically I haven't made my most recent payment. And right now, when I'm in the app, it says your account has been suspended. Please make a payment to recover the service. It says right there at the bottom, it pops up. Now, right now, I can actually make a phone call. I still can. So That's not a problem at all. My services are not actually suspended right now at this time. Um, well, the phone's ringing. So they are basically saying that my account's supposed to be suspended for non-payment. I'm watching closely because if they suspend my accounts, we have problems. And I'm, documented in this live stream. I'm saying it, Boost Infinite, we have problems if you cut me off because you took my money. You took my money. There's no reason for you to cut me off. Now, there's lots of other people out there that are taking that statement from Boost Infinite and stating, okay, my services should not be cut off because your systems is not restored. So there's not a way for us to make a payment. Now, some people want to know where this promise came from, where how this is happening. And a lot of people are reporting that they've gone to Boost Mobile stores, and in the Boost Mobile stores, there's a Google document that's submitted to, to Boost Infinite, which is basically supposed to credit them for a month of service because of the cyber attack, the system shutdowns, and just everything broken about Boost Infinite. Like you really think about it, okay? Not sugarcoating anything. I'm not the one to kind of do that, right? Like, do I like Boost as a brand? Yes, I do. But I'm not going to try and do damage control for them. Even though I'm not currently right now working for them, I'm not going to do damage control even if I was working for them. You got to say it as it is, and you got to put out there what's going on. And how they're handling this is bad. This is bad in general. It's bad for them because they're new to the game. That's where I was going with my short video. Like my short video last night that I posted, that was really just to kind of like help out Boost reps in stores, because there were people going there who had their services disconnected for non-payment and were told that they were going to get a month because of the situation that happened. And so they went and they made sure that all the necessary information was filled out in a Google document that was, I guess, submitted to Boost Infinite Corporate for them to, get a month service on Dish. And when you're told this and you do the necessary things that people have said they've done, they've gone to the stores, they've done what they were supposed to do to get that 1 month free, and then their services get cut off, they're going back to the stores where they went and submitted the Google document for Boost Infinite to credit people's, the person's accounts. And so they're going back to those stores and they're pissed off. And, I'm not oblivious to the fact how we are. We're gonna treat the Boost reps as Boost Mobile, Boost Infinite, because they are employees of the company. They are the face of the company. They're the ones that's, when shit rolls downhill, they're the ones that's going to catch the crap. No matter what, they're going to catch the crap. So I feel bad for them. That's why I made that short video, to remind people who are scouring the internet to try to find any new information about this cyber attack on Dish and what Dish plans to do. I'm trying to help the process by just eliminating store reps from being, slandered and verbally abused, because people are people. You can't really expect people to be calm in a situation like that. And they're going to go to the stores and they're going to say those things to those reps, and those reps can't do anything. Like, I'm not saying that they're incompetent. I'm not saying that, that they don't know how to do their job, because some people are going to question them. They're going to be, do you even know what you're doing? Do you know how to do your job? And it's like, they know how to do their job, but you can't have, it's like trying to compress a pile of cow crap and try to turn that into a diamond. That's not how it works. You can compress coal and hopefully get a diamond out of it under the pressure, but you can press a cow patty. It's never going to produce a diamond. And that's really what it is with these store reps, is that you can press them all you want. You're not gonna get what Boost is not honoring. Some people question that. Where was the promise made? How was all this done? Show us a website, show us a link, show us something that says it. And I think a lot of people are referring to what was said in the automated chat response, which can be taken two ways when you think about it. And I read up on it. It's saying that you shouldn't be your services shouldn't be interrupted, but they could that's a vague statement. It could mean that while our systems is down, your phone service will be on. It's not affected. Or it could mean that while our systems are down, we're forgiving people's debts at this time to get our systems back up, and then you can pay your bill once it's back up and running. So it's very vague. They're not being very specific with that message. That's one thing I'm going to point out. Like I said, I'm not doing damage control. I'm not trying to, spare Boost Infinite's reputation. They've wrecked their reputation as is. I've been following the telecom industry for the longest time. I've worked for various different companies. I've worked for Sprint as a retention supervisor. I worked, at Verizon as customer care. I worked for AT&T as customer care, and I worked for AT&T Pro Tech support. I've done it. I've worked in the telecom industry for the longest time, and I know how these contact centers work. I know how the mentality of from the operations manager down to the team leads, down to the call center agents. I know how this stuff works. Right now, they know there's not really much that can be done. Like I said, I was on Twitter chatting with their Twitter rep, and our conversation literally went like this. Right? So I explained that I had already paid my bill. Like once there was access to my Boost Infinite app, I went and did the payment. I added a different card. The card was accepted. My $25.35, which is what my bill was charged, was never put back into my account. It was charged, and the payment was successful. So why am I being told that I'm going to be disconnected for non-payment just because your system is failing? Now, this is going to be on the system end. Everything that you see on the Boost Infinite app is a reflection of what the system information has. So they can't say that their system's 100% correct since it's been compromised. So why am I at risk of having my Boost Infinite line turned off? They're not going to turn off my Boost mobile line just because, like I said, the Boost Partner Program sent me the Solero 5G Plus to review. Alongside that, because they don't know if I have a line with Boost Mobile or not, they went ahead and sent me top-up cards to create an account to test the phone out. And since my prepaid Boost Mobile line is $25 a month, it's the same as Boost Infinite, $200 in credit, that's going to give me several months of service without having to pay on the prepaid side. My other prepaid phone, which is this one, the Legacy Boost Mobile on the T-Mobile network, this one's still on the EBB program. I pay nothing a month for it. It's still $0. It was never converted to ACP, which it should have been, but it's not. Of course, when they fix their systems, does that mean that this is going to get corrected? Probably. They'll probably notice like, hey, this line is still on the EBB program. It should not be. And they'll take me off and put me on ACP. But anyways, yeah. So I sent them a screenshot of my payment to them and the date and time and everything that was successful, so they can see themselves. They got the money. They got the last four of the card number. They can go and check for payments processed and then let me know what's going on. Their only response to me was, "We're sorry for the inconvenience. We'll be able to help you as soon as our systems are back up. Thank you for your patience." And that's on their end. And their systems is still not back up. So if I was working at the contact center for Boost Infinite down here, which opens up in the end of April. But if we were already open and I was already there working, I pretty much wouldn't be working, because if their systems are down, what the hell am I going to do? I'm be sitting at a desk at a computer with no systems to work with. It's just a bad situation. The way I see it is, regardless, right? If some people want to question, and I know some people like to ride for brands, so there's going to be diehard Boost fans that are going to be like, show us this, show us that. But let's be real about all this, okay? Between business and consumer, let's be real. At this point right now, and how long their systems is affected, all right? We're well beyond a week. At this point right now, no lines should be suspended, right? When there's a world catastrophe or stuff like that, they're not going to suspend lines for non-payment. So at this, it may not be a global catastrophe, but it is a business-wide catastrophe. They shouldn't be cutting anybody's line at this point. You don't have to give credit. You don't have to credit the account, but you can forestall the suspension by not suspending nobody until your systems are back up. And once your systems is back up and you send a company-wide text message to every customer that systems are 100% working, then you can give them 7 days to pay their bill or face suspension. Then you can cut them off. But not right now when your stuff's not even working properly. How many people see that their account's about to be suspended for non-payment, so they get on the app and they process a payment, and the same thing that happens to me happens to them? Then what? Let me catch up with the chat here. Michael, welcome in. If Boost cannot help customers, Boost better get ready for a high turnover rate with customers. Yeah, I mean that's how people are, right? That's inevitable. People are gonna leave. They're gonna lose a good chunk of customers. They've already lost a small portion of customers, and that number is growing every day. People are getting sick and tired. There are some who just like, they may have had a phone number for 10 years and are like, screw it, I'll get a new number. So yeah, they're hurting bad. I feel bad for the ones that's been affected by it. Kind of reminds me of what's been happening with T-Mobile. Yeah. Thank goodness it hasn't happened to me and my kid, because we have just Boost Mobile. Well, I mean, we don't know what kind of information they have, right? So I know like one of the things, like Gene, who surprisingly is not in here right now. He usually is in these live streams just like chatting away. But Gene is like a lot of customers. He wants to know what's going on, right? The only thing that we know is that there is an investigation that's going on. Okay, so a couple of internal people have already they can't leak so much, but they've given us a little bit of something. And what we know so far, take it for what it is, right? Because it's an internal source leak. What we know so far is that they are working in tandem, basically just to find like the exploit, to find the people that are responsible. And they can't put out what exactly happened, how it happened, because then that's just like letting the criminal know, like, hey, we know you robbed the hen house, and we know that you took 6 chickens from row 11. Like you're giving up what you know so they can better cover their tracks if they've made any mistakes, and that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping to catch these people on a mistake. So what do I think of Red Pocket? I haven't really looked too much. I know who Red Pocket is. I just haven't looked into a lot of like what their plans are currently. Years ago, Red Pocket, they were like comparable to like Freedom Pop and stuff like that. So I wasn't really too interested in what they were offering. I don't know what they offer now. I'll look into that later. So glad to have my phone and internet with a different ISP. Uh-huh. Well, I mean, yeah, you're with a different provider. You're not affected, but let's not be insensitive to the people that are impacted by it at the end of the day. Like, you can jump for joy and say, I have a different provider, so nothing's happening to me. That doesn't, imagine how many customers, see that and think to themselves, like, what the hell, man? I know you're not trying to rub salt on the open wound. I know where you're coming from, but I'm just saying, you see how things could be taken out of context. What message? Crickets. Yeah, there's nothing from them, and they're not going to put that information out. Not just yet, right? But we can only take that with a grain of salt. Like, I sit here and tell you internal sources, means someone that I know that works with Dish Wireless, works with them internally, knows what's going on. He's been on here and has said a few things for you guys to read in the comments, giving out some info, but he can't give out a whole lot. The last thing that he said about the investigation is that they are working towards it. They are working with people on it. They are working with cybersecurity firms. They are trying to get things locked up tight. They're building things back up from scratch. If all this stuff is 100% accurate, then yeah, we just, wait in time. But I mean, for a lot of people, you don't really need to wait for Boost to give you some sort of answer as to what happened. Because if you have no intentions of staying, I mean, if you really must have the phone number that you ported in to Boost Infinite, then yeah, you're gonna have to wait it out. But if it's something that you can live without, Just go remove your payment method because shout out to Mark Smith. He tried Boost Infinite for a month. He canceled services with them, and they're still charging his payment method on file, even though he doesn't have service with them. And so, yeah, you want to be careful with that. The whole process not going through thing happened to me last month when I used Boost Mobile Card. Customer service cannot help me because of the system. I ended up paying double last month. I'm just waiting on the point when the systems are back up and I transfer my number to a different service. Yeah, I think a lot of people that want to keep their phone number because I mean, and you know, I never really thought that that there's a lot of humans that could be so insensitive about things, but um, those people like on Reddit and stuff like that who've openly said that they're also waiting for their systems to be 100% back up so they can port their number out. And you got other people that's like, screw them, Boost sucks so bad. Why you even want the number for? Just leave. But I mean, people like to jump to conclusions. They assume way too damn much, and people forget that those people who are waiting for the numbers more than likely ported their number in from another provider. So what's a phone number they probably had maybe for anywhere from a year to 10 years. I mean, there's people on Reddit posting that they've had their number for 5 years and they can't port their number out because Boost Infinite systems are down. And there's lots of reasons why people will want to keep their phone number. Ultimately, because a lot of family and friends have that phone number and they don't want to have to go and text everybody, hey, this is my new number. There are people who have family members that are locked up. And if you know how that works, when you have a phone number that is registered with the prison, um, it is a pain in the butt to contact the prison, to contact the administration there and say, hey, inmate so and so, I'm on his visitation list and I'm on his list for phone calls and my number updated. Like here in Arizona, if you have family members that's locked up in prison, it takes 90 days, 3 months for them to update your new phone number. So then for 3 months, your relative or your friend or family that's locked up, they're not going to be able to call and talk to you on the phone for 3 months until that number is updated. So there are valid reasons why people want to hold on to their phone number and port them out. And they can't port them out because Boost Infinite systems, Dishes systems, Boost Mobile systems is not up for customer care to be able to execute a port pin, which today every carrier pretty much uses to protect your number from being transferred from one carrier to another. Some people hate that. Trust me, I know. I worked at Consumer Cellular, and a lot of folks that wanted to port out because they had Comcast or they had Spectrum and they wanted to do the bundle deal. So they wanted to take their phone number from Consumer Cellular to to that company. They would get irritated when we have to call in. We'd have to give them a port pin, and the port pin is specific for a specific number. So one port pin will not work for 5 lines on an account. You would send out 5 different pins, and those pins resonate with the phone number that's being ported out. So a lot of people don't like port pins, so that's what hurts the situation. Having to wait to be able to port out. Hackers take it as a challenge. Yeah, you're right, Michael. Don't mention who you're with because hackers take it as a challenge. What I'm saying though is like how you're saying that with the company that you're with, you're glad to be with them, and I'm happy that you enjoy services with the company that you're with. That's great. You know, I was saying is remember too. Also, there are people that are affected by Boost Infinite and what's happening and whatnot with the whole cyber attack and everything, and the systems being down, and now people getting messages, and you guys seen it. I showed you guys. Even I'm in that boat of non-payment suspensions, which I think that they should be putting a halt to all suspensions. Regardless, if they publicly posted it on their website saying that customers affected will get 1 month free, or they didn't post it on their website, the right thing to do at this point, business-wise, for a company that just got its feet in the kiddie pool, right? Boost Infinite's still in the kiddie pool. It's not where T-Mobile is at. It's not where Verizon and AT&T is at. It is in the kiddie pool. It is walking its way to the deep end. It's literally like walking to the deep end without flippers and without a snorkel mask. Like, why would you do it? You know, I said that this was Boost's opportunity to really catapult themselves to those people who are watching. Because, there's a lot of people who they've heard of Boost Infinite, they see the advertisements for it. They're not biting to jump over because they want to see how the company is. They want to see reviews posted online about them. They want to see YouTube videos from creators talking about them before they make the decision to try them. So now you have a lot of content creators that's reporting on the fact that, people are getting suspended for non-payment. People are making payments that's not posting, even though it's been drafted out of their bank account. It's not posting on Boost Infinite's side showing a record of payment, and then lines are getting turned off. Like, if they turn off my line, so be it. I have my legacy Boost Mobile line. I have another Boost Mobile prepaid line, and those are good. So I have a way of contacting family and stuff like that. Of course, the recruiter for Boost Infinite that hired me is going to have to call one of my other numbers. I'm going to have to send an email out to her to let her know, like, hey, my phone number is possibly being suspended for non-payment when I made a payment. Maybe she might be able to help. Maybe not. I'm not going to put that on them to say, hey, you know what, fix my stuff. Like, it's not their job to do that. But it is a sad case. Right now, they should not be cutting off anybody's services right now until their systems and their bill payment systems is back up 100%. Nobody should be disconnected at this point. That's a way for them to put their best foot forward. I just know that crap happens. Yes, they should better contact with customers, but I really like my Boost plan and services. I'm not running away unless this stuff keeps happening. Well, it's not really about being brand. Like, I could care less about being brand loyal. These days, my mentality when it comes to mobile tech, I can give a shit about brands. I don't give a fuck about pixels. I like using them. I don't care. Like, I don't care about the brand itself. I don't care about Boost Mobile as a brand, Mobile X as a brand, Visible as a brand. They're all businesses and they all want money. And that's really what it is, right? At the end of the day. However, how they handle this, that reflects a lot about them. Like, do they actually, I don't want to say care, because they really don't care about customers that way. But do they care about providing decent business? And in this case, cutting off people right now for non-payment, that's not fair. Because you can't really make a payment online because their payment system is down. Even though the website is accepting payments, their payment system is down. So I'm pretty sure that's where my payment is, sitting in freaking limbo. It shows it's taken out of my checking account, so it's not in my bank anymore. They have it, but they don't have the systems up to process it and post it. So now I'm sitting here with a nice little threat of my line being turned off for non-payment. Now, that's what I'm saying, is that regardless if they promised it or didn't promise it, this is something that they should give. Not because I want a free month of service. I'm saying not to suspend people's lines. Like, if tomorrow they got everything fixed and they know for a fact 100% bill payments are posting as they should, systems is back up, customer care can answer phone calls again and start working on people's accounts. When they do that, then hit everybody with a message and give them 7 days to make a payment to keep their services on, or their lines will get suspended. That to me would be fine. They don't have to give me a month free of service. I don't care less about that. But right now is not the time to be suspending customers' accounts for non-payment when your system can't process that payment and there's nobody that can help them. I just got off with Twitter, chatting with the Twitter rep. They can't help me. You can't access chat. You get a generic message telling you that their systems are down. You can't call them 611 because their systems are down. No one's answering calls. So what do? You know what pisses off a customer more than anything? And you guys have been posting it here in the chat. A lot of you guys have been saying it. What pisses off a customer royally is silence. Crickets, right? What Barry said. Crickets. That's what, like, hearing the reasons why the cyber attack happened, how it happened, what information that the hackers got. Hell, we don't even know, because they're, what was it? The Verge was saying ransomware. We don't even know if the hackers that breached Dish's entire systems, right? So it's not just Boost Infinite that was affected. Dish, Sling TV, Boost Infinite, Boost Mobile, Boost Legacy, all of them are affected. It's not just one sector, it's all of it. And we don't know if it's still being held for ransom. We don't know. I mean, when stuff is held for ransom, these companies don't immediately pay the ransom to get control of the system back. They usually try to have a cybersecurity team try to regain control and take it back. So yeah, I got my Infinite Sim last week, but obviously could not set it up. Still want to try it. I want a new number, not porting a current. Can I choose that during the setup, or will I need a new sim? But to choose a new number, you can choose a new number if you want. If it works for you, definitely come back here and comment and let people know, because there's some people who've tried to activate and the activation still won't go through. So they're sitting there, with a halfway through an activation, waiting for Dish's systems to be back up to be able to process this. So it may work, it may not. You can always try. Yeah. I mean, there's other options, like and like in my short video I posted last night. Like, I'm not advertising for Mobile X to like push people to Mobile X. I'm just saying that another company that is offering unlimited talk and text, 30 gigabytes of priority data. After 30 gigs, you may experience slowdowns during moments of congestion. Is Mobile X? They have a $25 30 gigabyte high speed priority unlimited talk text plan. Yes, it's not Boost Infinite where you can call internationally, but you get the unlimited talk, unlimited text. You get 30 gigs of high-speed data. It's similar, and it operates on Verizon's network. So, it's, of course, because it's an MVNO that's owned by. So Mobile X, if you didn't know, the CEO of Mobile X is the founder of Boost Mobile, Peter Adderton. Right. And he's been very vocal on Twitter. I've been reading his tweets. I've been reading his Facebook posts. I've been watching him closely. He still projects to Charlie that if Charlie does not want to operate Boost Mobile, sell it back to him. He will buy Boost Mobile off of Dish. He'll take it back. Why did he sell it to Sprint in the first place? I don't know. I know he still runs Boost Australia, which is very interesting how their mobile service plans work in Australia. It's really, really, really just odd to what we're used to here in the United States. But I see where he got his idea from Mobile X on doing this pay for what you need type of thing. So that's how Mobile X operates. Basically, when you try out for Mobile X, you have the option to go 10 days. So if you choose for their AI to configure what amount of data you are possibly going to use in the 30-day cycle, then you go through a 10-day trial. You use it however you want to use it, right? It doesn't cost you anything. And in 10 days, the AI basically configures like, okay, by your daily usage, it predicts that your monthly usage would be this amount. Now, if you're someone that doesn't use a lot of data and you have Wi-Fi at home and you're always on Wi-Fi, this will benefit you to have a much cheaper bill. As a unlimited talk and text 1 gigabyte of data plan on Mobile X is $8.94. So if you're using like 5 gigs a month because you're mostly on Wi-Fi, you're going to save a hell of a lot of money with Mobile X. Now, if you just got to have the unlimited safety net, they have a $25 unlimited plan, talk, text, 30 gigs of priority data, deprioed, and it's on Verizon. So Verizon's pretty decent in most places. But that's why I mentioned that last night in the short little video clip, was because some people are like, I came to Boost Infinite because it's $25 for unlimited talk and text and 30 gigs of data. And it's like, okay, well, if you want something similar to that, Mobile X has that. They have the same QCI 9. They have the same priority access. It would be awesome. I've had the pleasure in my life, right? This is like crazy to me. I don't go broadcasting or anything like that, but I've had the pleasure to have conversations with Peter Adderton, right? On Twitter. He's very vocal with people. Like, he's not one of those CEOs that like really just kind of hides behind certain things. Like, you yourself could have a conversation with him. You can tag him on Twitter and he'll conversate with you on your tweet in the thread. You can DM him. He'll DM you back. He's a really nice, he's a really nice guy. Of course, he's a businessman, so you can't put 100% stock into him, right? At the end of the day, he's making money. That's what his whole purpose is making money. But like how people respect and love John Ledger, he's kind of like in that same boat. He's going after all these different companies. He's they say attacking these companies on social media. He's just trying to bring a different perspective in. Not a lot of people agree with his perspectives on things, right? Because he's like, you pay for unlimited and you may not be the type of person that needs to be paying $50 for unlimited. If like your monthly usage is only 1 gigabyte of data, because you're always at home, you're always on Wi-Fi, then why should you be paying 50 when you can pay $8? $8 sounds way better than $50. That's where his thing is at. But he caters to all sides. He does know that people do like to have the safety net. They do like knowing that their data will not get cut off at all at any point. And so it's funny because he calls it fake unlimited. That's what his plans are called, fake unlimited plan. But yeah, he's pretty good about it. And I do hope that in some form or fashion he gets Boost Mobile back. I hope that he just gets the entire Boost period, like Boost Infinite and all that. But of course, Dish is not going to give up Boost Infinite. I mean, they've put in millions and hell billions, and why would a company do that just to sell it off completely? I know that Peter Adderton caught flack yesterday because he was on Fox Business promoting the company, because Mobile X is no longer in beta; it's fully launched. And he said one thing that was interesting that got a lot of the telecom nerds in an uprise, and it was just literally he was just basically stating that 5G is not that important. Like, it's not as hype as people make it out to be. And I understand where he's coming from on that, and to a degree, I agree with him. I know I'm probably going against some of my friends on this, who probably are going to be like, Tito, blasphemy, how dare you, But it really is true. Today, there's not anything out there that really requires you to have that type of data speed. Like, it's nice to have it. It's cool to pull up a speed testing app and I got 500 megabits on the down and 64 megabits on the uplink. But there's not really an app that really utilizes it. Like, if you're streaming on Netflix, YouTube, or any of those streaming services, right? I mean, you'll get very good quality video streaming, 10 megabits by 10 megabits per second. You will. Live streaming right now, like what I'm doing right now, and this could be done with an uplink that's only 5 megabits per second. You don't need 100 megabits per second on the uplink. Does that help with the live stream? Well, of course it does. But you don't need that much to be able to stream in very high resolution. This resolution is not high at all. My laptop's camera can only do 720p, so that's not even full HD. So my T-Mobile home internet that lately has been giving me like 160 by 50. It's able to do this. Now, if I was on Restream, it would be all over the place. It'd be like, it's just weird. Restream's been acting weird for me. So I just decided to directly live stream from the YouTube website. But Peter Adderton made it clear that really people don't even need to go beyond LTE. Like, you'll be able to do the same things that you've been doing the same way. Doesn't matter if you have 5G or not. You'll be able to access Facebook the same way and watch Facebook Reels the same way. Same with YouTube, same with Twitter. Like, these services do not require such high amount of data. What does are the things like what Meta is doing, like the virtual thing. That requires, a very wide, bandwidth to be able to do stuff like that. And of course, online gaming, like through gaming consoles, require better latency, right? So if you're getting like a 10 millisecond ping and lower, Again, your gaming online is going to be a hell of a lot better than if you have like a ping of 52 milliseconds or even 100 milliseconds, then yeah. And that's where 5G kind of like steps in. So those are scenarios where like 5G makes its presence. But to the everyday user on a smartphone, you really don't need that type of speed. And that I agree with him there. Is it nice to have those speeds? Well, of course, always getting more is better. That's fine. You know what I mean? Now, when they optimize this to be a lot better, as that's one of the things that I see questions about with the whole NR77 connection. Like, why is it always like when you're not really using your phone, it's not there, but the moment you start using your phone and you start seeing midband pull up, and it's really to save battery on your device. From things that I've researched and things that I've studied about, when you want to save your battery life, well, having it to where it only kicks on when it feels like it needs that connection, that saves on your battery life. Because N41 on T-Mobile is a battery killer. It really is. It'll kill a battery quick. I mean, yeah. So let me catch up with some of these. Yeah, I agree with you, CV Tech. It is BS that they are suspending people's services for non-payment. To continue on with CV Tech's question. Now, while Mobile X has better, it doesn't have better priority. It has the same about the same priority access as Visible does. If you have Visible currently right now, and you can continue the affording the $45 payment, you might as well stay on that, because Mobile X has priority at 30 gigs, and then you're throttled, deprioed for the rest of your bill cycle. Visible, there's no there's deprioritization if you go past 50 gigabytes of high-speed data. There's deprioritization. It's not throttled, so your speeds will stay normal if the area is never congested. And then you get the unlimited hotspot, 5x5 connection, right? 5 megabits on the downlink, 5 megabits per second on the uplink. So Visible still kind of beats Mobile X there on that for a fully unlimited type plan. Visible pretty much is like the closest to what we would say is a true unlimited service. But yeah, LTE is superior and mature. 5G is too new and still in infancy. Of course. Of course. I mean, that statement should be obvious to anybody out there that 5G is not prime. It's not prime time. This is like I told people, the scenarios happening today with 5G is the same scenarios that happened back in 2010, 2011 when LTE started coming around. Right? I don't know if you guys remember those days, because Sprint was going with WiMAX for 4G, which was okay, but it was a battery killer. Trust me, Hawaii was lit up for WiMAX for Sprint. And when I went home to visit family, I had the Galaxy S2 Epic 4G Touch, which was WiMAX compatible for 4G. And the moment that it lit up when I got home to Hawaii, my battery would not even last me 3 hours. Literally just, right? Then Sprint switched over to LTE, long-term evolution. And they were playing catch up because, like T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, all were on LTE. And LTE didn't become that stable. So that was around 2011. LTE became stable all across nationwide by 2014. So we're getting close to it becoming stable. But besides the fact that 5G is new, still considered new technology, the real truth behind it is that the things that we do, right? I could lump us all into this because we don't do the exact same things, but we do something very similar. Like, y'all are on here right now watching YouTube, and as soon as I'm done with this live stream, I'm gonna be watching some YouTube videos, right? So we're relating, we're cousins right now. A lot of us get on social platforms, be it Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Instagram, Hive, whatever the case may be. We get on social media, so we all do the social media thing, and LTE has sufficed for so many years that 5G, there's no There's no blanket statement that justifies the absolute need for 5G to do those things on a smartphone. Oh yeah, CV Tech knows the trick, right? In times of congestion and unvisible, if you have 5G on and your phone lets you downgrade it to LTE, downgrade it to LTE, and you'll get a better connection. Because a lot of people are already connected to that bandwidth. They're already connected to the 5G, right? Whether they're connected to N77 or they're getting N5, they're connected to it. Their phones is on that channel. So if you go strictly to an LTE channel, you'll have a better connection during times of congestion. Even right now, without congestion, if you actually were to like flip your device over to LTE only, you may be surprised on what you see as far as data connection speed wise. You'll see that the speeds are decent, and the latency for LTE is going to be decent. For me, I get anywhere between a 20 millisecond to a 30 millisecond ping on LTE, and that's with Boost Infinite. That's with Boost One, which is their AT&T side prepaid, and then on my Boost Legacy, I get like 100 down and maybe about 15 to 20 up on the T-Mobile side. So it works out. See, Michael said it best here, and this is how a lot of customers feel about Boost Infinite and Dish right now. I will not get mad about the website being shut down if my services are not affected. ISPs has to protect my billing, payments, credit card informations first. Yeah, that's true, and that's where people's frustrations are at, is being disconnected for non-payment, because you're being penalized for non-payment. There's not a way for you to make a payment. Their systems does not back up 100%. Like I told people were reporting like, hey, I can log into the app, I can see my account and all this other stuff. And I kept telling people they're operating at an 85% capacity. There's going to be times where you'll log in and it's fine, and then you log in and it tells you pardon our dust. They've shut off access to it, right? Which has been happening. I've been seeing it on the Facebook group. Some people are like, hey, I can't get back into it again. They're going to keep doing that because their systems is not 100% back up. It's not up and running. I just don't want them. I want them to stop suspending people for non-payment. I am literally calling out Boost Infinite. Stop disconnecting people. Reinstate accounts you just recently suspended from 2 days ago for non-payment, because it's not fair. We can't control anything. This is beyond our control. Like I just showed, I paid my bill on the 28th. The money was taken out of my checking account, and I'm not going to double pay. They want to have the standoff argument. I don't need to yell at them to continuously have an argument with them. If they want my bank records, I'll get my bank records to show specifically when they took the money out of my account. So at the end of the day, I can't go in there and fix it. Even if I was working for the company, I can't go in there and fix it. First of all, you can't access your own account. You get fired for doing that. But there's nobody that can go in there and fix it. So you can't put it on the customers. You can't fault the customers for it. That's the whole point. That's what people are pissed off about. And that's what content creators such as myself are trying to convey this, and in hopes that somebody from Dish sees this to understand. You can't penalize your own customers for non-payment if they don't have a way to pay their bill, and if your system shut down because of your exploits that failed, your cybersecurity failed. Okay, you got to call it for what it is. Take Snead's famous line, call a spade a spade. Yeah, take it for what it is. All right, they had a cyber attack done. That was confirmed. They openly admitted that there was a data breach. So you can't penalize your customers for not being able to get stuff done because of your failure for your cybersecurity, that's not our fault. Now, if they want to create some sort of a temporary system in place that shows who paid what, who paid their bill, then do it. Do something, right? Get a pulse. Because right now, that's what customers are not feeling a pulse of a company at all whatsoever. And Boost Infinite is going to have this held over their head for years. I guarantee all of you in here, next year, I can do a video about Boost Infinite, and somebody is going to pick this moment to be able to have ground to stand on to trash the company in a comment on my video. It will always be there. People don't forget. T-Mobile's been hacked 6, 7, 8 times, and people still talk about it till today. You know, the fact that they got rid of the whole Amazon for the former Sprint customers and moved them over to Netflix on us, which, you know, that was a crappy deal. People are still going to be talking about that. You know, people point out like they feel like that Boost Infinite lied to them. I guess the reason why that I'm not sympathetic or empathetic to that statement is because all these companies lie. They've been doing it for years, so it don't surprise me that Boost Infinite is joining the club and doing the same thing that its competitors do. It does it, and I mean, what can we say to that? You know, that's like saying that a lawyer is 100% honest. It's not true. Like, you know, they don't tell the truth. These companies are not going to tell the truth. They're going to do their little things. Lady Red's Tech Review pointed out something very interesting the other day. You know, on I think she calls it a bait and switch. So like on the website for Boost Infinite, or was it Boost Infinite or Boost Mobile? One of the two. But it had there's a Galaxy A14 5G, and it said the price was $999. But when you click View Details, then the price changes to $79.99, right? And they can say that there was an error on the website's end and it should have said 79. But these companies use these little tactics to try to get you hooked, right? Because you see the Galaxy A14 5G on sale for $999 with port-in or whatever requirements that's needed, and you can fulfill those requirements, and you really want that phone, you're 9 times out of 10 to go and take that deal. So you're going to click on view, and you may be clicking so fast because you want to get that phone shipped out to you that you're clicking, pay now, and then after you pay and you look at the bottom where it says today you've paid 119 and some change, you're like, wait a minute, the phone's supposed to be only $9. That's a little tactics that they do. These companies do that. I'm going on record and telling you guys, I've seen it. Verizon's done it. They've done it years ago before smartphones. Way back in the day. I remember they purposely for 1 week on the website lowered the price for the Batman phone. I don't know if you guys remember that phone. When the Dark Knight hit movie theaters, LG came out with a Batman branded feature phone. So it like flipped open like a mini laptop, kind of like the LG VX1000. It's kind of like that phone. And they purposely lowered the price to sink people in into buying it. I think on when you first viewed like their available devices for sale on Verizon.com, and on there, I think it showed that the price was like $199.99. And when you clicked on it to add it to your cart and to buy it, you know, the price jacked up. It was like $399 when you were checking out. And then some people were just like, they would call in, hey, it said this, yada, 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 talk with them, their kid, you know, and I felt bad for them because they chose that phone because they wanted that phone. And then lines 2, 3, and 4 were their kids' phones, and they got them the, you know, I don't know if you guys remember the LG chocolates. And those are very popular phones because people was walking around. I got the strawberry chocolate, I got the cherry chocolate, I got the white chocolate, I got the dark chocolate, you know, because the LG chocolates came in different colors. And so those kids had their hearts set on getting those phones. And, you know, a parent always wants to make their kids happy when they deserve, you know, something good. And so hearing it in their voice, like they feel like they've been defeated in battle because they thought they were getting their phone, the Batman phone, for $199, and it comes out to being $399. So their total pay that day to start up everything was like almost $800. And it was sad. Companies do that. They will do it. And to them, you can't prove that they intentionally lied to you, because all they got to do to make it go away is say, oh, our software engineer teams that update the website did an error. They accidentally put 199.99. Can't sue them. It's an honest mistake. You got to find proof that said they knew they were going to set that price on there to pull people in and deceive them into setting up services before checkout. Like, you have to try and prove that, and there's no way of proving that unless you got a recording from corporate teams saying do that, and then you got grounds for a class action lawsuit. Yeah, it's been a long time ago. That Batman phone from LG, that phone, I think came out in, I want to say 2006, 2007. Whenever the Dark Knight movie hit movie theaters, I remember because everybody at work was like trying to get it themselves too. And like, because we worked for Verizon, we got a 20% discount on phones we bought. So okay. And that's great and everything like that, but there's just one problem comparing your ISP, which is do you mean MSP, mobile service provider? Because Boost Infinite is a mobile service provider. They're not an ISP. They're not an internet service provider to a degree. Like, they got more to it. But on Michael's comment there, Boost couldn't put any message on top of the page or anything like that. Their whole system's down, dude. Like, you can't, when you have your system hijacked, your engineer team can't get in there and make any changes to it. So how would they even put some sort of banner that says, hey, we've experienced a security issue and at this time the website is down? They don't even have access to make those changes. That's what happened to Boost Infinite. These people didn't just like hack into their systems and start saying, okay, Tito Escobar, there's his debit card number, grab his address. That's not what they did. They took over the whole system. It was hijacked. Hacking is the action of breaking into the system. The system was overtaken. That's why Verge was reporting that it seems like ransomware, because Dish couldn't do anything. So no, they couldn't do what your company can do. They couldn't put a sign there that says, and if your company got hijacked, they wouldn't be able to put that notification there too, or even text you that there's been a security breach, because they would have no control over the system. That I'm going to highlight here for everyone to understand this. So you understand this and hear me clear when I say this. Dish, their entire system, Dish Network TV, Sling TV, Boost Infinite, and Boost Mobile was hijacked. They could not get in their own systems for the life of them. What Boost and Dish should have did was be honest and just put it out on Facebook and put it on Twitter. They can't. Like I said earlier, according to the internal sources that we have, they knew that things was going on, but they couldn't quickly just like put it out there. They're trying to catch the people that did it. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking that, again, it's ransomware. So they want to pinpoint the people that took it to take control of their systems back. Because one thing that the internal source did say was that they never did a backup of their entire system. So he says they're building everything back up from scratch. That's a pain in the butt for, because my son does this type of work at school. He goes to Coding Academy here, which is a hybrid high school. So you get your high school credits, but you're also at the same time getting vocational in computer science. So there's like, he's going to actually be a software engineer. That's what he's going for. But they got classes for cybersecurity, classes for just all types of things. Um, so yeah, according to sources, they couldn't just up and say that just yet, but they did. They actually did come forward. I think it was like so. Systems started shutting down for Dish on Thursday. What day was that? I'm gonna calendar real quick and go back to the month of February because we're in March now. All right, so systems started failing for Dish on February 23rd. People were experiencing outages reported on Down Detector as far back as February 21st. Over the weekend, they were silent. On the 27th, they publicly went that there was a cyber attack because all of that week, myself and other content creators were jumping on here talking about it. So they kind of went forward, but they didn't go forward in details. Like they can't tell you what exactly was taken. They can't tell you any of that stuff because they don't know. They can't even see in their system. Let's hope they can fix the miscommunication or honor the free internet for a bit. Boost Infinite, after all, is a beta, so one should not be putting primary resources into a beta. True. I can agree with what you're saying. Yeah, and yes, they're still in beta. So I mean, this is why like I'm not dropping the hammer on them like I would drop the hammer on T-Mobile. That's been around for years, has the money to develop, a decent protecting cybersecurity, which to me feels like that they don't invest any of their money in that on T-Mobile, that they just strictly rely on Game Boy level security because they continuously keep getting hacked. But yes, they do need, and whether they give a month free or they don't, but at least at this time, don't suspend anybody for non-payment. I mean, Boost Infinite right now, for anyone that has signed up already for it or is signing up for it, but couldn't complete their activation because the system being down, we're paying $25 a month. So if they didn't do any suspensions for non-payments, even if it caught up to their next payment, then they would be paying $50 to catch up, right? Which is like what most unlimited plans cost nowadays on prepaids and MVNOs. So, I say to that is just not shut off anybody. Because this right now, and I'll show it again so people know that I'm already being told by Boost Infinite that they want to cut my line. They already gave me the warning that they're going to be suspending me. Now, they haven't suspended me, at least not yet. I'll try a test call right now. I'll call my other phone and I'll answer it so you guys know it's actually me calling it. All right, so it's ringing. Testing. Yeah, so phone line still works. Data still works. I'll cut the Wi-Fi off here, off my phone. I tell the missus I love her too. My wife is working a long shift today. She's working 12 hours. So she started almost an hour ago at 10 a.m. and she closes tonight. So she works from 10 a.m. till about 10:30 to 11 p.m. So she's going to have a very long day. All right. So we are off Wi-Fi. Let me pop up looplet speed test, but you guys could see if it unblurs. It's on 5G right now. And we'll run a speed test and we'll see what we're getting here. And it's pulling. We're probably on N5 right now. So 79.6 down and 8.21 up. We still have some form of connection. Were autopay people affected? I paid my bill ASAP when I had the opportunity. Everyone's affected. For those that are showing non-payment, right? So I don't mind showing you guys my account because it's not going to give too much info out. But I'll go to my payment history. And so it shows the last payment that I made was on January 25th, 2023, right? That's on my payment history. I like that you can see your payment history on Boost Infinite. However, from a screenshot I took from my bank that I sent them on Twitter, try to tilt it a certain way so that way, because it's so bright. Hang on. Maybe if I lower the brightness down. Dang, it's almost all the way down. So I made a payment January 28th. That is crazy. Made a payment January 28th. It should not show. It should not show that they're going to be suspending me for non-payment. February, sorry. February 28th, I made a payment. And that's what it says right there. Tuesday, February 28th at 11:22 p.m. I made a payment to Boost Infinite. So there should be that on my payment history, but it's not there. I would think that hacking the carrier should be a... It is. Trust me, if these guys got busted, they're not going to get a slap on the wrist. They're going to get slammed with a whole bunch of charges, man. Beyond just beyond hacking, they're going to have all types of stuff. I think they'll probably catch, 6 different charges. That's great. I'm glad that your payments are showing up to date. So you should be good. You shouldn't be seeing this at all whatsoever. Some of us that actually went and did a payment process as soon as their systems were back up were affected. Those that didn't attempt to make any payment because it was said that at this time services were not going to be interrupted are the ones being threatened to have their services cut off. And they're upset. They're royally upset. That so hopefully this puts enough pressure on Dish for them to say, hey, you know what, like, just don't suspend any lines at this time. There really shouldn't be. On the side note, today I'm still kind of tripping because, like, this morning I went to pick up stuff for dinner, since I'm going to be making dinner tonight for my kids when they get home. You know how they have those self-checkouts at grocery stores? There was a stack of money sitting on top of it. I'm going to go on a whim and say it was at least over $500 because it was a mixture of different bills. There was 20s, 5s, and 1s. And I walked through the self-checkout lane area. I see it sitting there on top where, like, you scan the groceries. It's sitting there, big pile of money like that. Now, the grocery store that I went to, the neighborhood area is bad. So there's like a lot of homeless people that go in and out. And I was telling my wife, I was like, I wonder if they know that they just have this money sitting out, because a homeless person walks in, they're not going to hesitate to grab that money. So I go around the store for about 5 minutes picking items that I'm going to make. I'm making Salisbury steak for dinner tonight. And when I go to self-checkout to pay for my stuff, I notice the money is still sitting there. So I let the self-checkout attendant know, like, hey, you guys got a stack of money right there. She couldn't even see it. She was like, where? She was right by the self-checkout machine. I remember it so well because it was self-checkout number 17. And I was like, it's like right behind her. I'm like, it's at number 17. She turns around, she looks, and her eyes went like owls, big, because that's a big no-no for management to leave that money like that. I guess that money was taken from the self-checkout machine and was supposed to go into the safe to be counted. And whoever was collecting the money from the self-checkout machines totally forgot to take that stack of money. And so my wife was like, they're lucky that you're an honest person, because nobody knew it was there. Nobody, not even the front end managers, knew that stack of money was just sitting there. If I was crooked, I could have actually swiped that whole stack of cash and just told my wife, hey, you know what? Let's go to Walmart and buy dinner instead of here, and left. They wouldn't have known because those self-checkout machines weren't turned on, so the cameras were not working on them. And they don't have good cameras because I looked around. I'm like, geez, they're so lucky. But I hope that the person that left that money out doesn't get fired, but gets trained, you know, gets trained to be careful. Like, yeah, because I don't think that person would want their paycheck to be taken to recover that money loss. That's a lot of money, you know, and I don't know. So I kind of feel good about myself, pat on the back, you know. Um, it's been a crazy morning, but all right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I streamed for about an hour. You guys catch the replay to see what I said in the very beginning. And Boost Infinite, Dish Wireless, Dish Network, Charlie Ergen, you guys need to do better. Okay, you need to do business better, because cutting people off for non-payment, that's just not going to fly when your system. It's your fault. Your systems are down. It's not our fault. We're customers. Like, you want to put the power in our hand, give us access to the system. Then you can blame us. You can blame us for the fault of that. But anyways, yeah. Last thing I'm gonna say is like, I know I've been very transparent with a lot of you. I've been open that come the end of April, I'm gonna be at Boost Infinite's contact center here, and I'm gonna ask people to, you know, to do me a solid. Like, y'all know that I work for them, but understand that I can't work your accounts. Like, don't hit me on a DM and say, hey, they promised me credits, put credits in my account. I'm not going to do that type of stuff. While I am transparent, because I treat you guys like family, at the same time, I am not going to be working on people's accounts. You're going to have to go the same route through chat or call 611 on your phone. Don't hit me on a DM and tell me that your services are out, especially when I'm home. When I'm home, I can't really do anything for you. But even if I was at work, still can't. Yeah, I have ideas and plans. And one of the things I will do, and you guys have my word on this, is that whenever they have focus groups, because, you know, contact centers do this. They do have focus groups where they're like, how have our customers been? What are they saying about us? Where can we do better? Know that the feedback I get on my videos here on YouTube, I will use that to give it to them, so they have some form of feedback to better position themselves down the future. That's something I can do. But working on your accounts personally, just don't have that mindset to think, well, I know Tito and he's a YouTuber, he'll hook it up. No, I'm not hooking up anything. Like, I've been open to tell you guys that I'm going to be working for them, but that doesn't mean that you guys come to me and I'm going to take care of your entire account. That's not how it goes. And I appreciate the people that will respect that. So I just kind of want to emphasize that, just because I haven't said that in previous videos. And I thought to myself, oh my God, you know, I could set myself up for getting massive DMs on Facebook or on Twitter. And I just, not trying to be an asshole or anything, but I'm just letting you guys know. And if it's things that's internal that is not to be said, I'm not going to leak it. So I will only tell you guys what I can. I will tell you vague stuff, but I won't get into specifics. Put it that way. That's like the most that I can do. So, all right, guys, you guys have a blessed rest of your day. And remember, I love you guys very much. All right. Smile. You're alive. You can breathe. You can see things. You can experience the day. Don't worry about the nonsense and the drama and stuff like that. Focus on the positivities of things. Stay positive, and you'll have a great day.